How would you feel if you got to wake up every day to the noise and pollution coming from the factory next to your house? In fact, if you inhale enough of that, one day you might not even wake up anymore. But of course, my dear, I don't want that for you. And the government does not want that for you either. That is why your house is only close to someone else's house. And factories are close to each other in their own area. That is what land zoning does. It's like a zone, right? It's how the government divides lands in different areas into distinct groups and determines what each group can be used for example, residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural, or mixed use. It is also called land use planning. And why does the government do this? Because they want to optimize land use and they want to balance the interests of different land users. Like you that are using the land for living and all, they want to balance your interests. So somebody that wants to use the land for manufacturing so that you don't have conflict because the manufacturing is disturbing your living and vice versa. And they also do this to promote a healthy, safe and well-balanced community for you. And in this country, the development is just coming rapidly like this. It is important that investors and developers know these laws. Now that we know what it means, let's see how it applies in Nigeria. And let me teach you a little bit of current affairs. You see, the bodies that are responsible for creating, updating and enforcing the zoning laws in Nigeria, they are the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, the State Ministries of Urban and Regional Development or Urban and Regional Planning, and then local government planning authorities. Now, it may seem as though these land zoning laws are enforced at every tier of government, federal, state and local, but it's not really so. Remember the Land Use Act of 1978 that vested all lands in the hands of state governors. The federal government does not really have power in that area because it is actually regarded as residual matters in the Constitution of Nigeria. It is not like explicitly stated in the Constitution anything about land zoning. Instead, there are specific legislations that are made by the State House of Assemblies in the different 36 states and also the National Assembly of Zoning and Planning in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. So the regulatory framework for land zoning in Nigeria is governed by the physical laws, planning and regulation of each state. It gives the state and local government the powers to ensure that lands are used properly, to control development, how people build in that area, and to ensure that everybody follows the zoning regulations. That is why if you don't follow it, they will come with their red screen and mark X on your house. Now let me teach you another current affairs in case you get into a court case with these government people. The present physical planning law in Lagos is the Lagos State Urban and Regional Planning and Development Amendment Law of 2019. So before you will be granted a development permit to go on with whatever you're developing, the conditions for granting a development permit at the control department must correspond to the conditions for development that are on your land title or your right of occupancy, because the land zoning regulations of land in that area will be on that title. But see, people have coconut head in this country. Not everybody still complies with these laws. But before we look at the people that do not comply with these laws, let's quickly see what we would be enjoying if we actually comply with these laws. So apart from telling you what you can build on your land, the zoning laws also tell you, how high your building can be, the maximum amount of buildings you can build on a plot of land, how many people you can accommodate. Like if you're building something like a block of apartments, how many flats can you have in that building? This is to ensure that your interest as an investor or a developer matches the interest of the community so that everybody lives in peace and harmony. Nobody wants a 10-story building to come crashing down and then come and crash their house, or all those problems that people face because of building too tall buildings in too tiny spaces. They also help with environmental conservation. There are areas that have ecological significance and they can be prone to natural hazards. That's not going to be English, but anyways, they help to preserve an area that they can use as a conservation center to prevent people from building in that area. The way we have Lekki Conservation Center, there are no buildings around there to just preserve that environment. It can also help in infrastructure development, like how they plan a particular area is for residents, particular area is for commercial purposes and all of that. They can plan, they can allocate resources rather to places that can be used as roads, schools, hospitals and other amenities, so that everything will just come all together in the community. So this helps make residential areas safe and comfortable, and then commercial areas and industrial areas can still provide jobs for people and foster economic growth without harming people living in residential areas. So the coconut head people that used to make this law to work very well are people who make the enforcement of these laws inconsistent. For example, sometimes people just go to sell land without considering urban and regional planning, and then when you live in those kinds of areas, it is hard to navigate because the roads, they are not properly planned and all of that. Then there are also people who establish informal settlements, like people who just build shacks and something will just wood and make it sink, and then you settle there, and those things are not approved by the government. That's why sometimes you see governments just go to those places that will scatter all those houses, and then things like the government is wicked, but I'm not going to say anything about that. Lastly, you that does not know what zonal laws are and what they entail, so that you can follow them, and then you go to build something that is against the zonal laws in a particular area, you are also causing problems for us. But not to worry, at Landor Investment Limited, we are here to educate you so that you don't make these mistakes, and you also make our community better for us to live in and make our commercial areas grow, so that we can foster economic development in the country. So if this video was helpful, hit the like button because it helps other people see, and subscribe to our channel for more tips, because I'm going to be telling you more about land zoning. We're not done yet.